Alright, I think we're live. Oh, hi, Pichu. Okay. So we're doing Pokemon battles with viewers again. In Scarlet and Violet. Which is pretty phenomenal. I saw today that they announced the next 7-star Terra Raid is going to be happening this weekend, and it's going to be Primarina. And it's going to be Fairy Terra. So hopefully it's like super beatable with Berserker. Because it would be really easy to make Berserkers. Hi Alex, how you doing? But I think the worst thing that they could do for Primarina's moveset is they do like Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Psychic to counter the poisons, and then like Calm Mind. Calm Mind would be the worst. Because if it's Calm Mind, you pretty much have to bring Dondozo, I think. Or Clefable. I guess Clefable also would be another unaware user that wouldn't care. That's my thought process right now, at least. Is there anything that I want today in terms of outbreaks before we get started here? And give it a few minutes to let anybody who wants to filter in. I don't have one of these yet. I have 2 Glamoras from being in Area 0, but I don't have an actual shiny Glimmet. It's rather unusual to see them in an actual place where you can shiny hunt them, because most of the time they're like under here. And it's really hard to shiny hunt Pokemon that are under there. Because the area is not very flat. And the Sandile is kind of nice. Oh, the Oshawott is there. I might do the Oshawotts later, if I have time. Okay. I'm gonna fly to a place where I can be unbothered by Pokemon. Do the link battle, and then we'll do a link code of 554479193. And I'll wait for stream to catch up. Stream's pretty caught up. When you ban me from using Amoonguss, you also just ban me from using sleep tactics. I mean, not necessarily. That's not really how the premise is supposed to go. Like, you could still use sleeping Pokemon. But, like, kind of in the spirit of it, like, maybe try some new strategies other than just using, like, a redirect and sleeper. Like, instead of trying to substitute them, you don't have to. But you can, you just don't have to use Amoonguss is really the only thing. But I would highly advise you that if you want to get better at, like, actual battling, to try and use some, like, new team archetypes. Or try some Pokemon that you haven't used before. Yes, I've been trying to think of a different tactic. Okay. Hi, Gigi Plays. How you doing? I'm gonna join. Well, if you can get in, then you're more than welcome to. We're right at the start, so there's not anybody else here yet. Alright, official rules 1. I don't think I'm gonna bother hiding the screen on this game. Let's go this team. And let's make it happen. Taking a bit. Picking out carefully what Pokemon they're gonna use. Alright, here we go. So we got quite a group of Pokemon here. I think I just lead this, and then have this and this in the back, and maybe actually, hold on. Let's have this in the back. Yeah, sure. At the end of the last battle stream, you said that you would look at creating more teams for us to fight. Did you make more teams? Well, I won't be making more Reg F teams, but once we've like completely worked our way out of all of the Pokemon in Reg F, then I'm gonna make some Reg G teams. But that's probably a while off. I'm trying a team. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go for the follow me and get up my room. Okay, our Calon's Flash Cannon comes out into Indeedee, doesn't do very much damage, and Azumarill gets up an Aqua Ring. This Hatterene goes for the Trick Room. And I think I'm going to follow me again, and then I'm going to blast the side with Expanding Force. What's the difference between Reg F, and Reg G? So in Reg G, you are allowed to use one restricted Pokemon, which means that you can bring one Calyrex, you can bring one Kyogre, you can bring one Groudon. Whereas in Reg F, you cannot bring any of those Pokemon. Hatterene's Expanding Force is going to do massive damage on the opponent's side of the field here. Caledon's going to munch on its berry and get some of its health back, but it's going to go for Flash Cannon again. And Indeedee is going to redirect it. and not take very much damage. We're gonna see Electabuzz hitting the field. Not a fully evolved Pokemon, but Electabuzz still has its own merits as an Eviolite Pokemon. However, this turn, I think I am fine to just Helping Hand and Expanding Force, unless something is Terra Dark. Hatterene's Expanding Force is going to come out, and that is going to KO both targets. Getting a critical hit on the Electabuzz, but if I had to guess, I don't really think that crit mattered. It depends how the Electabuzz is trained. I wouldn't be willing to bet money on it mattering, though. Okay, and lastly, we're going to see Incineroar hit the field. And it floats with its air balloon. Let's go for the Helping Hand and Dazzling Gleam. And because this is single target, it'll do more damage to Incineroar. And it's only neutral. Incineroar, however, might be terrestrializing into fire. Yeah, we're going to see a terrestrialization from Incineroar here. And it's going to be rocking the terrestrialization of Terra Fire. Incineroar, now resisting the Hatterene's Dazzling Gleam, is going to take more damage than I expected. But the air balloon is going to pop on Incineroar as Incineroar decides to go for its Terra Fire Flare Blitz, and that is going to connect into Hatterene and knock Hatterene out. And Incineroar nearly KO'd itself with its own recoil. And then we can have Indeedee redirect this turn, and then we get Primarina go for Hyper Voice. Yeah, I killed him on, that's true, you did kill one. Now you just have 3 more to go. Flare Blitz is gonna come out. And that's gonna pick up KO into Indeedee. And Incineroar is gonna KO itself. That's going to be the end of the first battle. And I died. Yeah, that's the main thing about using Flare Blitz, is that you can do a lot of damage with it, and you can knock out a lot of Pokemon, but once that recoil catches up with you, your Pokemon's gonna faint. Oh, let's grab this team randomly. Okay, seeing a bit of a different team here. We got Hisui Gui, we got Garchomp, Rotom Wash. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start Pelipper and then have... I guess I'll have... Actually, no, wait, hold on. Let's start Grimmsnarl and Archaludon and then have Pelipper and Blastoise and back. Okay, we're gonna see a lead of Incineroar and Rotom here. Incineroar is gonna be in the air with its air balloon. Not intimidate Incineroar, I didn't notice that last match. But the best thing for me to do is probably just set a Reflect and then just go for Body Press into Incineroar. Turn is taking a bit. Alright, Grimmsnarl Reflect comes out. Archaludon goes for Body Press, doing some pretty notable damage into Incineroar. Incineroar's air balloon pops. Rotom goes for the trick into Grimmsnarl, handing Grimmsnarl a Jaboca Berry, as Rotom obtains a Light Clay. Incineroar's Flare Blitz comes down to Archaludon. Does maybe about a fourth of its health or so. Archaludon's defense increases. And what else was on this team? Is it worth it? I don't think it's very worth it for me to set up a light screen yet. So I'm going to go for the Spirit Break into Rotom, and then go for the Body Press into Incineroar. Body Press is going to come out, and that's going to pick up KO into Incineroar. Remember, no item swap with Archaludon because Assault Vest. That is true. If you use Trick into Archaludon, then you're probably going to brick yourself. Archaludon just became confused from something. I didn't see what it was. Grimmsnarl is going to get a pretty notable chunk of damage into Rotom there, and lower its special attack. As we now see Garchomp in the field. Okay. Oh no, I want to Spirit Break the Garchomp and Body Press into the Garchomp. Alright, Garchomp is going to go for Earthquake, and Rotom is in the sky, so it doesn't care too much. Some chip is going to be dealt onto my side of the field. Grimmsnarl is going to eat its Jaboca Berry. What did that do? Wait, did you just hurt yourself? Did you trade me the berry that does damage if a Pokemon gets hit with a physical move, and then hurt yourself with the physical move? Oh, Rotom's going for Confuse Ray. Alright, Grimmsnarl's gonna hit itself in Confusion. That's fine for one turn, I guess. Garchomp is going to go for Earthquake again. Oh, that's a critical hit on Grimmsnarl. Had been unlucky there. Archaludon is going to hit itself in Confusion. We don't do very much damage because of our stamina, and Hydro Pump comes out. Doesn't do very much damage into Archaludon. Stamina activates again. Okay, now let's swap in Pelipper. Honestly, this Rotom has stood on the field for way too long, so I'm going to Body Press into it this turn. The best RNG ever right now. That is true, you've gotten very good RNG. With 2 Confusion hits and a crit. The odds are in your favor, at least. Garchomp tries to go for Rock Tomb into Pelipper, but unfortunately Pelipper protects. As Archaludon now snaps out of its confusion and goes for Body Press into Rotom, KOing the Rotom. As we now see Hisuigui hitting the field, I believe. And I'm going to do this. Alright, we're gonna have Pelipper go Terra Ground here, just kind of for kicks and giggles. I don't want to take too much Rock Tomb damage if that's the move that's coming out. Rock Tomb came out into our Archaludon instead. That's a little funky. Archaludon's speed does drop, but its defense increases again. Pelipper's Weather Ball is going to come out, and because this is a neutral hit, it is going to pick up KO into Garchomp. Goodra tries to go for Gyro Ball, but Archaludon's defense is just so high that it really doesn't care about Hisui and Goodra's Gyro Ball, as Body Press comes out and picks up the clean KO into Hisuigui. I misclicked the Rock Tomb. Well, it wouldn't have changed anything. Let's battle again with the same rules. If you would be willing to do your last battle, you are more than welcome to it. Even though, because you have lost your first two battles, you are unable to get a Pokemon on this attempt. I need different items on my Mons. I mean, you can always play around with item choice. Item choice is very important. In fact, you could argue that it's almost everything. Okay, we're gonna see this team, the one that has 3 steel types. Before this team led, like, Fluttermane Skeledirge into me, so I'm gonna lead, Fluttermane Incineroar. And then have a Kamoo and I think Indeedee in the back. And we'll see how it plays out, I guess. Alright, we're seeing Skeledirge and Heatran hit the field. We're gonna get off our Intimidate, which is gonna lower attacks, but the attack drops really don't matter. And I'm feeling pretty good about going for Shadow Ball and Fake Out. Incineroar gets the Fake Out into Heatran, so unless it is using a Cobra Cloak, it will not be moving this turn, as Fluttermane gets off the Shadow Ball. Nearly KOing Skeledirge, doing quite a bit there. Skeledirge returns the Shadow Ball back into Fluttermane. And managed to get a pretty lucky special defense drop there as Heatran flinches. So Heatran's actually slower than Skeledirge. Duly noted. I think I'm gonna do this, and then do this. Probably picks up KO on Skeledirge. If not, this is still a pretty safe play. As long as it doesn't miss. A miss here would be a little irritating. Skeledirge tries to go for the Will-O-Wisp in order to get something onto Fluttermane, but Fluttermane protects as Heatran goes for the Earth Power. That does about that much damage into Incineroar, a little bit less than half, as we see Snarl come out, and that's going to KO Skeledirge and lower the special attack of Heatran. Now we're going to see Hisuian Goodra hit the field. Okay. So I think that based on what I have in the back, I can deal pretty good with what is on the field right now. I just need to decide where I want to target my move. I think it's going to be Shadow Ball into Hisuian Goodra and I think Knock Off into Hisuian Goodra. It's going to come out, it's going to do pretty good damage. Heatran's Earth Power is going to come out, but it's not going to do as much damage as last time because of the Snarl special attack drop. As Knock Off comes out into Goodra and knocks off Goodra's Citrus Berry, but Goodra is able to get off the Iron Head, and that is going to KO the Fluttermane. Is Clanker's Soul here a little... Yeah, it's a little bit much, probably. That's why I'm going to have Heatran come in, and... I'm just outside of Aqua range, aren't I? I'm just gonna have Incineroar Snarl. If it lives the turn, it lives the turn, but if not, then it doesn't. Force Sphere's gonna come out into Combo. Earth Power comes out into Incineroar, and Incineroar is barely able to live it, even though it does catch a bit of a special defense drop. But is able to heal up with its Agua Berry that it was just outside of range of using in the prior turn. Iron Head comes out into Combo, doesn't do too much damage, and Snarl comes out into Hisuian Goodra and Heatran. And is going to knock out Hisuian Goodra. Now, who's our guy in the back? Okay, it is Fluttermane in the back. So if I go Terra Steel here, and go for the Orsphere KO on the Heatran, and I don't really care if Incineroar gets knocked out, so I'm just going to go for the Snarl this turn. Fluttermane tries to go for the Moonblast into Combo, but we currently resist it. Combo's Aura Sphere comes out into Heatran, and that picks up the KO there. Incineroar goes for the Snarl, and it does connect, which means that Fluttermane is going to have its special attack drop dropped one stage. Combo is going to restore a little bit of its HP with its leftovers. Now we can go for the Flash Cannon, and let's go for Knockoff into Fluttermane too, just to try and deal some damage. You're going to see a Terrestrialization from Fluttermane into the Fairy type. Speaking of Fairy Terra, the next 7-star raid is going to be Terra Fairy Primarina, which we're doing tomorrow. As Fluttermane's Power Gem comes out, and that's going to defeat Incineroar. Combo is super effective. Terra Steel Flash Cannon comes out into Fluttermane, and is nearly able to KO it. Fluttermane, of course, is very specially bulky, so that doesn't surprise me too much. But now what we can do is, since we have Indeedee in the back, we can afford to go into Indeedee. Indeedee is going to set up the Psychic Surge. And that's going to proc Indeedee's Psychic Seed. And we can just launch the Flash Cannon into Fluttermane and redirect. As Fluttermane tries to go for Perish Song. That is definitely a strat. I mean, it wouldn't win with Perish Song even if we went through all 3 turns, because Fluttermane is currently the fastest Pokemon on the field, but... there's not much else that Fluttermane could have done in that position. But GG's. Oh, whoops, I battle again with the same rules. Back out of that. Whoops. That was the last one. Okay, let's open the floor for challengers. Hi, Pinkie Pie, how you doing? Can I battle? Sure, if you're gonna use Scarlet and Violet, we're doing all the battles. These are Reg F battles, which means that there's all the rules in the description, which I maybe could have read out beforehand, but like they're all there if you want to read them over just to know what you're going up against. Also, when's the next only chat can see stream? Probably... it's probably going to be Saturday if I had to guess. Because tomorrow we're doing the Pre-Marina Terra raids. And then after that we're going to do another round of this. And then on Saturday is the next available day to do only chat can see Sword and Shield. Read the rules? Alright, alright, alright. GG Plays can also show you, or just speak you the rules if you want. They're probably pretty acquainted with them at this point. Accidentally started searching offline. Oh, we've all been there. Happens to the best of us. Alright, an opponent has been found. We're looking at a rookie. Rookie, if you could choose official rules 1, that would be the best, because that's the format that we're using. And I'm gonna go into my notepad. And assuming this is a Pinkie Pie / a rookie. By the way, my trainer name is Aruki. Alright, bet. Official rules 1. Okay. So, since this is your first attempt, you have to win all 3 battles, but no pressure. This is kind of an introductory attempt. So if you want to do your future attempts, you only have to win 2 out of the 3 battles in order to get a Pokemon. And I'm going to hide my screen here for a sec as I randomly pick one of the teams. And we'll go with that. No one says my strategy. If anyone figures it out, please. I think I do know what your strategy is. I don't know if I have a way to stop it, though, is the thing. I think I have to lead this, and... I don't think I have a way to stop this strategy. This and this. And then have this and this in back. If you show growth, then you might get a Pokemon. That is true. You have to, if you show enough growth as a competitive battler, then I will make an exception that you can pick a Pokemon that you want. Okay, yeah, it's Meowscarada and Crocodile. So it's pretty possible that either one of these Pokemon is Covert Cloak. However, what's probably going to happen here is that Meowscarada is going to side Flower Trick into Crocodile in order to proc its Anger Point. So I'm going to fake out the Crocodile and then throw a Weather Ball into it, and we'll see what happens. Meowscarada actually goes for Protect this turn. Okay, so does Crocodile. Smart play, smart play. They're avoiding the fake out. So I don't know what Crocodile goes for once it actually is at the plus whatever it gets to now. Raichu should be faster than it, and if it terrestrializes into something that's not ground, Raichu can still hit it. But I'm going to go with my previous play of... Or, not my previous play. I'm going to Protect and Weather Ball this turn. No more Fake Out, that's true. Alright, Meowscarada is going to Side Flower Trick the Crocodile. The Crocodile is not terrestrializing, though. It is going to crit the Crocodile, proccing its Anger Point, which means that Crocodile now has max attack. And munches on its berry, increasing its speed, Salac Berry. We see Rock Slide come out. And I really need Pelipper to not get flinched here. Pelipper takes up the Focus Sash. Pelipper's Weather Ball does come out. It's able to KO Crocodile. Focus Band? Not Focus Band, but Focus Sash. Focus Band is extremely inconsistent. So now we're going to see Flamigo hit the field with its Co-Star ability. And I think I'm going to go for Electro Web, and you'll Protect this turn. You're going to see Meowscarada be faster than Raichu, probably because it's holding a Choice Scarf if I had to guess. I don't know, it might just be natty faster. But we're going to get off the Electro Web into both Pokemon. Meowscarada is confirmed to not be Covert Cloak. Flamigo gets its speed dropped. As, oh, Meowscarada is eject button. Okay. That's interesting. What is the difference between Focus Band and Focus Sash? So the item Focus Sash is a consumable item, where it will always guarantee procced if you are at full health, and then bring you down to 1 health. The item Focus Band is an item that you hold for forever, but it only has, I think it's a 1 in 8 chance to proc. So there's 7 out of 8 times whenever a Pokemon holding a Focus Band is at full health, it will just be KO'd, but 1 out of 8 times, it will just get KO'd. Or no, I don't think Focus Band even requires you to be at full health. Focus Band works at whatever health you're at. It just gives you a 1 in 8 chance to not be knocked out, rather. I'm gonna go Protect Raichu, and let's swap Caliper into our Caladon, I think. Okay, Sableye does go for the fake out and tries to get the kill onto Raichu, however, it does not find it, as Flamigo is going to go for the feint into our Caladon, which is a pretty good tech move because it's priority. However, our Caladon is going to resist it and now gets a defense boost up. And honestly, the feint from Flamigo probably does KO Raichu's here, but I'm still going to go for the Electro Web and then the Electro Shot into the Flamigo, and let's see where that gets us. Okay, we see Sableye reveal Shadow Sneak, which is going to KO Raichu. Flamigo goes for close combat into our Caladon, and that does about half. As Flamigo's defense falls, our Caladon gets a stamina proc. Our Caladon is going to pull out the Electro Shot. And now the rain is going to stop. I think it makes the most sense to go into this Pokemon, so let's do that. And let's go for Bug Bite into here, and Body Press into here. Power Herb? Nope, not Power Herb. It's just that Electro Shot charges itself in rain. We're gonna see Sableye steal an ability here, giving our Caladon Prankster, and Sableye now has Stamina. Caladon's Body Press is not going to connect with Meowscarada, and Bug Bite is not going to connect with Meowscarada. Did Meowscarada just make itself a normal type of Protean? The opposing team's Tailwind figured out. But, wait, when did they get a Tailwind? I guess Flamigo must have done it one turn. Let's Bug Bite and... yeah, Body Press. Body Press makes sense. Okay. Meowscarada has now revealed Ally Switch, so things get a little tricky here. Sableye goes for the Sucker Punch into our Caladon. Body Press is not going to do damage into Sableye. But Scizor's Bug Bite is going to deal damage into Sableye, knocking it out. How is the Bug move so strong? Well, Scizor's Bug move is only 60 base power, so because Scizor's ability is Technician, and Scizor is also a very high attack Pokemon, Technician makes the Bug Bite actually 90 base power. And I think the best thing that I can do here is just Bullet Punch and Body Press into the Meowscarada. Because it probably dies in 2? Yeah, it dies in 2 Bullet Punches. So even if they were able to KO our Caladon here, which... Meowscarada went for the side Flower Trick, but there was nobody to Flower Trick, so it did not get it. That's going to be the end of game 1. No, misclicked. If it makes you feel better, it probably didn't matter there, if I had to guess. Alright, so you are more than welcome to do your other 2 battles if you would like Pinkie Pie on your attempt. However, since this is your first one and you've already lost one, you're unable to get a Pokemon this attempt. However, I highly encourage doing the other 2 battles if you can. Alright, let me hide screen, and I'm gonna grab... Let's grab... I'm gonna grab this team. Yeah, this team. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a change up here. We're seeing the offensive Glamora team that was pretty common towards the start of Reg F. Let me think here. So I think what I can do is I can start this and this. But there's so many Pokemon here that give me so many problems. This is a little tricky because I don't know what form of Urshifu it is. I'm assuming water. But since they have Ogre Palm water, it could also be... or it could be Dark Urshifu. A lot of the Urshifu paired with Glamora were Dark Urshifu. I think my best play is to start this and this. No, and this. And then have this and this in the back. Okay, we're gonna see Fluttermane Incineroar compared to my Fluttermane in DD. And DD's Psychic Surge is going to go up. Psychic Siege is going to activate. Incineroar's Intimidate is going to activate. And Fluttermane's Photosynthesis activates. Okay. So what's my best play here? I could Shadow Ball into Fluttermane, but then I get down to my Sash. I honestly think it's Shadow Ball and Helping Hand into Fluttermane. Incineroar tries to go for the Fake Out, but unfortunately we are currently on Psychic Terrain, so it does not work. Shadow Ball comes out from the opposing Fluttermane, which I kind of wish I went for Direction this turn. But I am going to return with my own Shadow Ball, and since theirs is Photosynthesis, even if they were a little bit bulky or had a Sash, their Fluttermane is going to get knocked out. Okay, now we're gonna see Glamora. So this turn, I feel pretty fine going for Protect. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. I think I'm gonna try and get off as much damage as I can with Fluttermane this turn, and go for... I feel like it's pretty unlikely for Glamora to Spiky Shield this turn. And even if it does, I don't think I really have tools to deal with it later. think I'm going to do this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, Glamora does not go for the spiky shield, but we do get off Shadow Ball into it, and that is going to bring it down to super low health. Not red health, but pretty low. We're going to see Meteor Beam come out, and Meteor Beam is going to increase Glamora's special attack, but it is Power Herb, so it's going to get off the Meteor Beam right away into Indeedee, who's going to take about half from that attack, as Incineroar's Parting Shot comes out into Fluttermane. That's going to lower its special attack stat and its attack stat, but we don't really care about the attack drops on Fluttermane. As we're going to see Ogerpon make an entrance here. So this could very well be Terra Water Ogerpon. So I think my play is I'm going to Icy Wind and protect Indeedee this turn. Yeah, let's go with that. Glamora goes for the Spiky Shield. We do not see a Terrestrialization on the opponent's side, as Ogerpon also goes for Spiky Shield. Okay. Indeedee goes for Protect. Fluttermane Icy Wind comes out and is not able to connect with either target. I'm being told Horn Leech. That is a move that Ogerpon can know and that I could cover for. However, since Glamora protected this turn, I think I'm just going to go for the Helping Hand Dazzling Gleam to get off as much damage as I can with Fluttermane. Okay, we do see a Terrestrialization this time. And it's going to be Ogerpon grabbing the Terra Water. As we see Embody Aspect activate, which is going to increase Ogerpon's special defense. Indeed, he's going to Helping Hand Fluttermane for what may be the last time this battle, as Fluttermane gets off the Dazzling Gleam and does not KO Glamora. Ah, that stinks a little bit. I thought I was going to KO Glamora. That's not good for my health. We're going to see Ogerpon Ivy Cudgel come out. And that's going to critical hit KO Indeedee, but I don't think that crit mattered. Okay. This is a little tricky now, because I think Glamora is faster than Kamo, and if it is, then I don't really have an out here. However, what I can do is I can Klangristle and protect Torkoal this turn. And so I need to dodge. I have to hope that they're going to Ivy Cudgel into Torkoal and send a like something into Kamo, which Terra Steel resist. Ogerpon goes for the Follow Me this turn, as Glamora's Earth Power tries to connect with Torkoal, but unfortunately for Glamora, it does not. As Kamo gets up Klangristle, which is going to give us an Omni Boost at the cost of about 1/3 of our health. Weirdness now disappears from the battlefield, and I'm going to go for the Helping Hand Clanging Scales, and we should be faster than Ogerpon and Glamora now with Kamo. Clanging Scales comes out, and that gets a KO into Glamora, but not a KO into Ogerpon. as Ogerpon's Ivy Cult is going to come out, and we are now neutral defense, but it's going into Torkoal instead. Torkoal takes a little bit less than half from that attack. And what is the last Pokemon that we're facing in the back? Okay, it's going to be Incineroar. So the only thing that I can really do here is... I could try Aura Sphearing into Incineroar, but... This is weird, because they could just protect Ogerpon and then go for Clangerous, and then just go for Flare Blitz into Combo, and I don't think that works. So I think my play here has to be Aura Sphere, Helping Hand. Okay, we do not see a Fake Out from Incineroar, which means that the Aura Sphere is going to connect and KO. And we're going to see Ivy Cudgel come out into Torkoal again. Torkoal getting nearly KO'd. And we should be good to go for the Helping Hand Clanging Scales. Ogerpon goes for Spiky Shield. I mean, that's fair. Let's go for the Clanging Scales again. Combo is going to get it off, and that is going to KO Ogerpon. Can you do more Pokerogue, please? I do have a Pokerogue video in the works. It's just that the server hasn't been super consistent lately, so I've been waiting for like a good time to do it. And the current Pokerogue Classic run that I'm on, I think will go pretty far. Because I'm currently at the Elite Four. It's just that I have to actually battle the Elite Four at a good time where like the server won't be reset. Alright, we have one last battle to go. Why is this so hard? Well, it's only your first attempt. And you gotta get used to it. Once you know the teams, it's pretty easy to just counter team them. There's no real purpose in me hiding the last team, I don't think. It's gonna be the Sand team. Also, hello, B-Dog. How you doing? Okay, we're saying the same team as last time. So, I think my main way to deal with this team is to leave this, and then have this, and this in the back. No, I think I need this in the back, actually. Can I join? Well, once we're done with this battle, it will be first come, first serve for whoever wants to battle, but there's not too many people here, so I think you got a pretty good shot of getting in. And I always stay around for long enough that as long as anybody wants to battle, they will definitely get the chance to do so.
Okay, we're gonna see a lead of Tornadus Urshifu, and that is single strike. Okay. So I have to Terra to redirect, and then get up my room. So Indeedee is going to go Terra Fairy and get its Follow Me off. We're going to see Urshifu try and strike a Wicked Blow, which still does way too much damage. Mostly because it's always a move that crits. As we're going to see Tornadus U-turn out. That's a pretty interesting tech move. You don't see a lot of U-turn Tornaduses these days. As we are now going to see Fluttermane hit the field. Okay. Fluttermane is going to activate its Photosynthesis, which is going to increase its speed, but that won't be helping it too much now that we have Trick Room set up. And it's very possible that this Urshifu is Focus Sash, so I'm going to go for the Follow Me, and we're going to Dazzling Gleam this turn. And Indeedee is probably going to go down from a double attack here from both Urshifu and Fluttermane, but at this point it's gotten my room up. So I think that's going to be good enough. Indeedee's going to get off Follow Me. We're going to have Dazzling Gleam come out, and that is going to KO Urshifu, actually. It's not Sash. It might have been banned, but it is not Sash, so it's going to get one-hit KO by Dazzling Gleam. As now, Fluttermane goes for its own Trick Room. Okay. Was not expecting that one. And then we're going to see Glimmora hit the field. Okay. So, I think I can afford to Follow Me this turn and go for the Expanding Force, because it will hit one target despite whatever it hits the field, and Glimmora is super weak to it. And I don't really value getting up room too much right now because of what I have in the back. I think we'll be able to deal with the opponent, no matter what the speed tier is. Indeedee is going to get off its Follow Me, as we are going to see a Shadow Ball come out from Fluttermane. Since this is Speed Booster, it's not going to KO Indeedee, but even if it was, I wouldn't gamble on it too much. Sludge Bomb, however, even with the Spadef drop, Indeedee was always going to get KO'd by that. So Indeedee, having doing its job of taking so much pain, is going to faint. However, Hetarine more than makes up for it with a double KO onto Fluttermane and Glimmora. And I can replace my missing Indeedee with Tyranitar. Tyranitar is going to set up a Sandstream. And my safest play here, I believe, is Knockoff and Expanding Force, because it could Terra Steel and then live another turn. We're going to see Bleak Windstorm come out. It's not going to get any speed drops. Knockoff comes out into Tornadus, revealing its Covert Cloak, which is most of them run. And we're going to see Expanding Force get the finishing blow onto Tornadus. Why is this hard? It's all about just knowing what your opponent's going to do. Now that you've seen what I can do, you should try and build teams based around the strategies that you just saw. So, like, we had Indeedee Redirection was very useful there. We had, people usually use Fake Out. Fake Out's pretty good whenever you're not on Psychic Terrain. However, if you are using Fake Out on Psychic Terrain, then you're just wasting a turn. But the floor is now open to challengers, and now that you've gotten over your first attempt, Pinkie Pie, you just have to beat me in 2 battles next time we battle, which I look forward to. And now the floor is open to challengers. Wait, I didn't catch. Who am I battling? Who was that? Hold on, I need to rewind this stream for a sec. I completely missed who that was. Oh, it's GG Plays, okay. I'm not gonna worry about picking out a team. Let's just grab this team and see how they play against it. Okay, this is Hisui Gui again. So let's do this and this. And then have this and this in the back. Wait. Yeah. Can I be next? There's no way for me to guarantee any person to be next because we don't have like a queue system. But I can guarantee that as long as you stick around, you will get to battle. Alright, we're gonna see Incineroar and Latios hit the field. Incineroar floats in the air with its air. Oh, Incineroar's Intimidate! Good job! Let's go for the... Do I want to Terra? No, I'm not gonna Terra. I'm just gonna follow me and get out my room. Latios is going to go for Helping Hand into Incineroar. As Incineroar goes for the Darkest Lariat into Indeedee, picking up the super effective KO. Hatterene is going to get up Trick Room. So I think my best move here is Rock Slide and Dazzling Gleam. On surprise trading and getting hacked mons. Oh yeah, they're pretty frequent on surprise trade. If you just search around for long enough, you'll find them. Alright, Dazzling Gleam is going to come out and it's going to do pretty notable damage into Latios because it's super effective, but it's also going to hit Incineroar for a pretty good chunk. As Tyranitar Rock Slide comes out, and that is going to finish the KOs on Incineroar and Latios. It does crit the Incineroar, but I would not be willing to bet that that crit mattered. Hatterene takes a little bit of Sandstorm chip. We're going to see Rotom hit the field paired with Hisui Gui. And I think my best move is knock off in here and click expanding force into both. I could have gone for the stomping tantrum, but I think it's more important to get rid of Gudra's item. At least for now. Based on what I have in the back. Expanding Force comes out, and that is going to pick up KO into Rotom and do some damage into Gudra. Tyrant going to lose some HP. Tyranitar's knockoff comes into Gudra, and that is going to pick up KO, a little unexpectedly, if I would say so myself. But it knocked off Gudra's Citrus Berry. The crit did matter for you. The crit on Incineroar did not matter. I would just want to make that clear. Alright, let's grab a second team, which will be this one. Okay, this is the Steel Guys team. Let's do this, and I think this. No, actually I'm gonna do this. And then I'll have this, and this in back. And let's run it. Fire Farm, is there an official Discord? Not yet. We'll have one in the future, though. It's currently TBD. To be done. Alright, we're seeing a very familiar start to the last beginning of the board. I think my Incineroar was faster than their Skeledirge, though, so what I can do this turn is I can go for Shadow Ball and Snarl, I think, pretty safely. And this will just pick up KO into Skeledirge. Skeledirge is faster, actually, and gets to get off Will-O-Wisp. As Heatran goes for Stone Edge, a physical attack, instead of a special one. Incineroar Snarl misses Heatran. Okay. Missing Heatran is still not great, but doable. Kinda wish I had just faked out that turn. As we're going to see an opposing Fluttermane hit the field. And I'm going to click Shadow Ball and Snarl again. Shadow Ball doing pretty notable damage into Fluttermane, as Fluttermane goes for the Perish Song option. And Heatran goes for Earth Power into Incineroar, which is going to not get Incineroar low enough to eat its berry, and also the Snarl does not KO the Flutter Mane, which is a little annoying. Okay. So now every Pokemon on the field has a Perish count. And I'm going to click Icy Wind and hope that I get the KO here, and go for Knockoff into Heatran, since I think the Icy Wind Speed Drop will make Heatran slower than Incineroar. I'm having such a hard time to figure out what to do without a Mungus. I mean, you can try looking up teams of what other people are using and then work at that. Or see what other people have used in the past here. I see what I think picked up hits into both slots. Yeah, because Incineroar's moving before Heatran. Heatran is going to take some chip as it knocks off Heatran's Charcoal. Heatran goes for the Heat Wave, and Incineroar is able to dodge it. Rest assured, it would not do very much damage into Incineroar because Incineroar currently is a fire type. And it actually, I would have preferred if the Heat Wave hit me, because then it would proc my Ogwaff Berry. But that's kind of beside the point. I'm just gonna deal as much damage into this slot as possible. Shadow Ball's gonna come out into Heatran and not get the KO, but Goodra is faster than Incineroar. Oh. My only ability to deal damage was to sleep, and now that it's gone, it's gonna be much harder. I mean, that's the idea, is you gotta learn about different types of strategies. Incineroar's Perish count falls to 1. Does it matter who I swap into at this point? Not really. I'm gonna swap into Indeedee. Oh no, it was faster than Incineroar. Psychic Terrain is gonna go up with Psychic Seed. As I'm going to redirect damage and swap Incineroar out for Kamalo. I think Masuda was meant for the starters. Wait, what? Oh, the Masuda method just refers to having two Pokemon from different country orientations. Because that's a method that Junichi Masuda came up with. Was that if you have like a Ditto from like Japan and like a Litten from and you have a Litten from like America, then whenever they, you know, make eggs, they have an increased chance of making a shiny. Goodra Ironhead is going to come out, and that's going to do that much damage into Indeedee. And I don't think the Goodra knows special moves, so I'm just going to swap in Incineroar for Indeedee, and let's go for Aura Sphere into Goodra. There's a bug that makes Fion pseudo-methodable. Yeah, because you can breed... Well, previously you couldn't breed shiny Fions from Manaphy's, but now you can. Goodra's gonna go for Ironhead after previously eating its berry, which is gonna do some slight damage to Incineroar, but it's gonna get Incineroar low enough to where it can now eat its Ogwaff berry, restoring its health by a third. And now we can go for the knockoff and Aura Sphere into Goodra, and that should wrap up the game. Alright, since that was GG Plays' second, or this is after his first attempt, rather, I guess I should phrase it. And that is the second loss. They cannot get a Pokemon on this attempt. However, as always, you are more than welcome to do the third battle. Hello, Anime Watcher. How you doing? Okay, this is the Hisugui team again, but with different Pokemons. So how do I defend from this? Start Grimmsnarl, Archaludon, and have Pelipper and Blastoise in the back. Or should it be... Nah, let's just keep it this way. It doesn't matter. I can just plug whatever I want here. It's the third battle. I don't gotta overthink things too much. Alright, we're gonna see Incineroar and Latios at the field. Incineroar gets off its Intimidate. I am low battery. Incineroar is in the air. I think I'm gonna go for... I want my screens, but I don't know how much the screens actually do here. Let's go for the light screen and just the... Actually, let's go for the reflect and body press. Yeah, body press the Incineroar. We're gonna see Latios' Simple Beam come out. A bit of a tech move. Archaludon now has Simple, as Archaludon's Body Press comes down to Incineroar. Does that much damage to it, which pops Incineroar's Air Balloon. Incineroar goes for the Cross Chop into Archaludon and does about a fourth of its health with the super effective and non-stab hit. Now let's go for Spear Break and Body Press. Latios going for the Helping Hand into Incineroar. Archaludon's Body Press comes out. It's going to pick up the KO into Incineroar. As Grimmsnarl's Spirit Break comes out into Latios, bringing it down to over half and lowering its special attack stat. So I set the Reflect, right? Yeah, I have the Reflect up right now. Let's double the Garchomp, because the Latios can't really do much right now. The Garchomp might be rough skin. I'm not sure what does more. I mean, I guess Flash Cannon is stab. Let's go for the Flash Cannon. Latios going for the Helping Hand. Garchomp goes for the Earthquake. Latios is immune to it because Levitate. That does pretty good chip into Grimmsnarl and Archaludon. The Flash Cannon is going to do a little less than half, more like a third. As Spirit Break is going to come out into Garchomp, and it's going to bring it down into the red health. So I think my smartest move here is Spirit Break, and then swap into Pelipper. Pelipper's Drizzle is going to activate, set up a rain for everybody. Latios is going to go for the Helping Hand into Garchomp. Garchomp going to go for Earthquake again. Which doesn't affect Pelipper, but it does hit Grimmsnarl, bringing Grimmsnarl down into the red. Grimmsnarl's Spirit Break comes out into Gorchomp, which is going to pick up the KO into it. As we see Hisuian Gudra being brought out for the last Pokemon. And I'm going to Thunder Wave Gudra and then Hurricane Latios. Spirit Break is so strong. Yeah, it's a really good move. That's only it and Iron Valiant are able to use, I believe. But the nice thing about Spirit Break is not only are you able to guarantee hitting something because nothing can be immune to the fairy typing, but if it's a special attacker, you get a special attack drop once you get the move off. You're going to see Grimmsnarl's Thunder Wave come out into Gudra, boosted by the Prankster ability, which means that Gudra is going to be extra slow. As Pelipper's Hurricane comes out into Latios, and Latios is going to be KO'd by it. As Gudra's Iron Head is going to be super effective into Grimmsnarl and pick up that last chunk of health that it had. But now we're pretty good to bring in our Caledon here. Caledon's ability is going to be reset back to Stamina. But I think nah, Body Press does more. It's Body Press and Weather Ball into Gudra. Body Press comes out, that does about half to Gudra. Gudra's gonna nom 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 on its berry. Weather Ball comes out and it brings Gudra down to the red, as Gudra unfortunately is unable to move. However, if it could have moved this turn, I'm not quite sure what it would have done to get itself out of this scenario. Body Press comes out, and that's going to pick up the super effective KO on Gudra for the last bit of its health. That para mattered for you? It did not. Maybe, I mean, you would have either Iron-Headed into Arcaladon, which would not have killed it, because Arcaladon resisted, or you could have Iron-Headed into Pelipper, and even though Pelipper resisted, Pelipper is Sash, so that never would have picked up KO into Pelipper. And even then, I still had Blastoise in the back. But good try, though. Good try. I like the new strategies that were employed. It's all about just timing them at the right times to get it to work. Alright. Floor is going to be open to challengers yet again. Alright, let's see what we've got. It's going to be B-Dog, a brand spanking new challenger.
Hopefully B-Dog is selecting official format 1 because that is the only battle format that we use here. I'm going to go into my notes and I'm going to write down B-Dog. So B-Dog, this is your first attempt, which means that you have to win all 3 battles in order to get a Pokemon. However, if you decide to battle again after your first attempt, you only have to win 2 out of the 3 battles. So good luck. What is rules? Use official rules 1. It's like right in the middle. I have just had the world's worst best idea. Well, all you have to do is get rid of the worst part, and then you've got the world's best idea. That's... Oh, wait, what? Okay, that was weird. I'm not gonna stress out about this. I'm just gonna bring this team, and I maybe should have hidden the screen, but it's fine. Got marked Gimmighoul? Ooh. I don't even know the Gimmighouls could have marks. I thought since they were static encounters, they were unmarkable. Carefully choosing their Pokemon. I don't know how much time we have left until it just kicks us for not having started the battle fast enough, but that time is rapidly approaching, so I suggest picking at least something. This is only your first attempt, so you don't have to worry about winning too much. Just kind of to, like, get the feel of what actual competitive battles are like. So don't overthink it. I feel like it's strange for a Ditto and Meowscarada to be kissing because of breeding. I mean, if that's how you see it, then yeah, it is kind of weird, but to each their own, I guess. I got a mythical out of an egg in Pokérogue. Oh, nice. Which one? Oh, there's the timer. Alright, we'll try it again in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It kicked me. Yeah, that's because you need to pick a team within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, it just kicks you for not being fast enough. So do you need like a few minutes to cobble together a team, or do you just want to go again?
The grassy one. Do you mean Celebi? You got Celebi? Or do you mean Shaman? Alright, we got B-Dog again. This time I'm gonna hide my screen. Whenever I pick a Pokemon. Alright, official rules 1. And we're back. The one that has 2 forms, Shaman. That would be Shaman. How does it let you activate the 2 forms? Do you get to pick what form your Shaman is in before the battle begins? Or do you have to activate it? Wait, no. Shaman isn't... I thought Shaman's form activated whenever the sun was out. It's just that you have to change it using the Gorsidia Seed. So does it let you pick which Shaman form you pick at the start of Pokerogue? You're only allowed 1 legendary. That is not true. You can pick as many legendaries as you want. There are just some legendaries that are not allowed, such as Solgaleo, or Lunala, or Terrapagos, or Zamazenta, or Zacian. Mainly all your box legendaries. You can bring as many Urshifu, Virizion, Registeel. You can bring as many of those as you want. It's just you can't bring any box legendaries under this rule set, because those would be way too overpowered. A team. Alright, took too long again. You want to maybe, like, take a minute to cobble together a team, B-Dog? And then let me know. If you've got a legendary that you're trying to get through, run them by me, because I can tell you which ones are allowed and which ones aren't allowed. I had Boo. Oh, Ho-Oh. Yeah, Ho-Oh is not allowed in this format. Also, I'm communicating? What am I communicating with? Is Nintendo stealing my data again? Good. Alright, I'm gonna run the doubles open again, and hopefully we get B-Dog, because B-Dog had it first. Here we go with B-Dog. Let's hide screen for a second. And fumble around and grab this team. Now we wait. My egg power sandwich became fire? Oh, that's strange. Okay, who do we have here? Real interesting bunch of Mons. We're seeing 3 Hisuian Mons. Actually 4. 4 Hisuian Mons. And a Lucario and a Heatran. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what I can do to this, but I think I'm gonna leave this, and then have this and this in the back, and we'll see how it goes. I usually, for my egg power sandwiches, there's one of the preset ones that gives you egg power 2 that I tend to use, and it doesn't require any herba. Alright, we're seeing Samurott and Hisuian Gudra hit the field. So what do I fear getting hit by most here? A steel type move into Grimmsnarl would not be super ideal. I could Electro Shot into... Yeah, I think I'm gonna Electro Shot into Samurott. And then swap in Pelipper. And we'll see what happens. Our Caldon is the fastest one in the field, so it gets to move first. We're going to see Electro Shot come out into Samurott, and that's going to pick up the one-hit KO. Now Hisuian Gudra gets a turn to go for Iron Head into Pelipper, however Pelipper resisted because of its water typing. I've done it, the worst idea is in play. Alright, well I'm excited to see it. Alright, Typhlosion is going to be taking the place of Samurott. So what is my best move here? I'm a little worried about Gudra maybe setting up with Body Press, but I'm not super concerned about it. I think just launching another Electro Shot into the Typhlosion, and then maybe swapping Pelipper back to Grimmsnarl is my best play. As Typhlosion goes for the rollout into Grimmsnarl. Bit of a tech move, never seen before. Calydon is going to absorb electricity as its special attack increases and launch that attack into a Typhlosion, nearly knocking out Typhlosion as Gudra's Ice Spinner goes into our Calydon and does a little bit of damage. So, because Typhlosion is currently rolling out, and the Gudra seems to be mostly physical, I'm going to go for Reflect with Grimmsnarl here. Typhlosion's rollout is going to come out, and it's going to do slightly more damage than it did before. Our Calydon Snarl is going to miss Gudra, but I don't think that that's too important. If it had missed Typhlosion, it still doesn't honestly change much, but it would have changed a bit. Heavy Slam comes out into Grimmsnarl, and even with Reflect Up, the Heavy Slam does a whole heckin' ton. As we are going to see Lucario as the last Pokemon in play. And I feel pretty good about just clicking Thunder Wave and Body Press into Lucario. Thunder Wave is going to connect into Lucario. Even though it may look like an electric type in its shiny form, Lucario is very much prone to being paralyzed. As Body Press comes down to Lucario, and with the +1, that is going to pick up the KO. As Goodra is going to return a KO into Grimmsnarl with its super effective Steel type move. And I'm not going to bring in Pelipper yet. But now we can go for... They haven't used Terrestrialization yet, but if their Terra resist... oh, here's the Terra. If the Terra resist Body Press, then I can just go for Flash Cannon and with, yeah, okay, that just Terra Steel. I could just go for... If they were like Terra Fairy, I could go for Flash Cannon with Arcalodon, and that would wrap up the game. Body Press comes down to Goodra, does a whole heckin' ton of health, as Blastoise's Body Press also comes down to Goodra, and that is going to pick up the knockout. Two eggs? I'm a parent now? Well, congratulations. Mazel tov. I believe that's the correct time to say that. My nose is running. I was having a bit of sickness over the weekend as well. Well, I guess, I don't know when your sickness started, but maybe the sickness is coming back now that I've thought about it. But unfortunately for B-Dog, they lost their first battle, which means they cannot get a Pokemon in this attempt. However, B-Dog, you are more than welcome to do the other two battles if you would like. But it's hard to think whenever you have a cold, because all of your existence is just based on, like, you know, it's hard to, like, you don't really think about when you're healthy, but when you're sick, it's like, man, I just wish I wasn't sick. Why didn't I do more things whenever I could go outside and not get hives? Jeez. Okay, what do I do with this team? I think Incineroar is a bad lead here, because of Samurott and Lucario maybe being inner focus. So I think I'm going to lead Kamo and Didi, and then have Waterman and... yeah, Exeggutor in the back doesn't really help me. Let's bring Torkoal. I might regret bringing Torkoal, but Torkoal's going to come. Alright, we're gonna see Rudra and Samurott hit the field. However, I am taking a mental note that there is Hisui and Zoroark in play. Let me take a double check of their team. Okay. So, I'm gonna go for my Clinker Soul and redirect this turn. As we're going to see Foul Play come out from Samurott. Maybe not being Samurott. I don't know, if I was Samurott, I would probably be Night Slash, but that's just me. And Kamo is going to get off its Clanker Soul, meaning it gets an Omni Boost, which takes way too long to go through all of the things that rose. As Udra's Ice Spinner is going to come out into Indeedee, and that is going to break our Psychic Terrain. But theoretically, Kamo is the fastest thing on the field. I don't remember Zoroark's speed tier, but I think it's 178, and currently I'm 180 speed. So I'm going to go for the Helping Hand, the Clanging Scales, and we'll see how much damage this does into everything. It's also possible that Zoroark is Sash, but based on its willingness to show foul play... Okay, that was Hisuian Zoroark. Gudra's Ice Spinner is going to come out into Kamo and do about that much damage. As Gudra is rocking a Shell Bell. That's a very unique item choice. But now with Hisuian Zoroark off the field, I can more safely just throw Aura Sphere into things. Speaking of throwing Aura Sphere into things, hi Heatran. Let's throw, I think, Aura Sphere into Gudra, and then... Actually, no, I should throw the Aura Sphere into... I'm in a bit of a pickle, actually. Because I want Terra, but if a Terra fires... Ice Spinner will come out. It's easier to deal with Gudra with what I have in the back, so I think I'm going to go for the Helping Hand Aura Sphere this turn. We're not going to see a Terrestrialization on the opponent's side, which means that this Aura Sphere is going to be super effective into Heatran and pick up the KO. As we're going to see Gudra go for the Ice Spinner once again, getting Kamo dangerously close to being knocked out. As Gudra gets a little bit more HP back with its Shell Bell. And Kamo gets a little bit of HP back with its leftovers. And lastly, we're going to see Samurott hit the field. Who was previously using, or Zoroark was previously using it as a disguise. This could be Aqua Jet, so I'm going to go for the Clanging Scales. Follow me. As we're going to see a Terrestrialization on the field, it is going to be Gudra Terrestrializing into Steel again. And then BB gets off with the Follow Me. And Kamo gets off the Clanging Scales, not doing enough damage to KO either of its targets. But Samurott is going to numb on a berry. Samurott is going to go for the Sword Stance. As Gudra Ice Spinner comes out into Indeedee. And we're going to have Clanging Scales come out again as Indeedee redirects again. How haven't I noticed that you can switch back to the first Pokemon when making decisions? What do you mean? How haven't I noticed that you can switch back to the first Pokemon when making decisions? You mean like when you switch out a Pokemon like turn 1, and then just return the switch? Because like you can switch any Pokemon into any Pokemon that's in the back. It's just the downside is that you really don't get to make a move that turn. Unless your name is Incineroar, in which case you always get to make a move whenever you're switching in. And it's one of the most powerful moves. Alright, one more battle left for B-Dog, and I believe it is against the Sand Team. Just AFK in Violet File to get Masuda eggs. Fair enough. Be sure to collect them every once in a while, because the picnic can only hold 10 eggs at a time. Also, they'll overflow your boxes, so watch out for that. Right? Well, you only have to run around to hatch the eggs. The process of getting the eggs is just that you put on an egg power sandwich in a picnic, and then you sit by the picnic basket, and then every like couple of minutes or so, you press A in order to get how many eggs are in the picnic basket. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a change up here. We're seeing 2 Paradox Pokemon. We're seeing Meowscarada, Gengar. Actually, 3 Paradox Pokemon. I forgot about Hands. Thinking only in terms of Scarlet Pokemon Paradoxes. What does the best here? I think this and this lead makes sense. And then having this and... This is a hard one to pick in the back. I think I'm gonna pick this in the back. No, actually. I don't know. There's advantages and disadvantages. I shouldn't overthink this. I'm just gonna pick this. This is the 3rd battle. I just gotta use limited brain power. Okay, we're gonna see Kamalo and Gengar hit the field. As indeed is going to get off its Psychic Seed. So this is like a pretty easy redirection and then click Expanding Force. However, I'm going to be careful and I'm going to get up my room. Gengar is going to go for Shadow Ball, but Indeedee is not going to take any damage from it as it redirects it since it is a normal type. And Kamo is going to go for Boom Burst, which does not affect Gengar, but it does affect both Pokemon on my side of the field. As Hatterene is able to get up its Trick Room, and now we can go for Helping Hand and Expanding Force. And something might be rocking a Sash here. If the Gengar is rocking a Sash, then I definitely should have redirected. But Expanding Force is going to come out, and it's going to cleanly KO both Gengar and Kamo. However, Gengar is going to leave me with a little present called Curse Body, where I can now no longer use Expanding Force on Hatterene, at least for a bit. Now we're going to see Meowscarada hit the field, followed by its friend, Fluttermane. Okay. So I wouldn't necessarily want Hatterene to be on the... I mean, the loss of Expanding Force is not that big of a deal, because I can just follow me and go for Dazzling Gleam this turn. We're not going to see any Terrestrializations. Hatterene's Dazzling Gleam is going to come out, and that's going to KO Meowscarada and do about half to Fluttermane. Hatterene's going to lose some HP from its Life Orb, but Shadow Ball is going to come out from Fluttermane, but it does not affect Indeedee once again. And now we can Helping Hand and get off the Dazzling Gleam. We're going to see terrestrialization from Fluttermane, and if this is a defensive Terra, it's not a defensive Terra, it's an offensive Terra in Terra Fairy. Entering Dazzling Gleam comes out into Fluttermane, and because that is single target and Helping Hand boosted, it is going to do considerably more damage than it did last time. Even though it did more than enough damage last time, and that is going to be a GG. No, I mean that when you are deciding your move, you can switch what you do even after you confirm your move. Oh yeah. As long as you don't confirm the second move, you can backpedal all the way back to your first Pokemon. Alright, we are just over the 2-hour mark now, and does anybody else still want to battle? Because this might be like a good stopping point. Because I do want to try and record Pokerogue today. Before it gets too late. And we will be back with this probably on Sunday, if I had to guess. Yes, okay, we still have a battle with Lex. Okay, it looks like we're just gonna do one battle with Lex, so I'll wait for stream to catch up. And B-Dog wants a redo. Alright, fair enough. I'll give B-Dog one redo. After the Lex battle. And does anybody else want to throw their hat in the ring? Okay, so Alexander won their last attempt, which means they're currently on their first attempt. So they have to win all 3 of these battles, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure they won their last attempt. So let me hide screen for just a second or two here. And I'm gonna grab this team. Also, they are currently not allowed to use Amoonguss in order to challenge them more, since they've gotten 2 Pokemon from me. Again, same item twice. Ah, jeez. Is there any way that you could... Oh, they just decided to disconnect. I'll give them a minute to figure out what item they need to change. Why is my top left still communicating? Should I save? I hope it doesn't... I mean, I don't know what I really saved for, but I'm just gonna save before things get weird. And having assumed that Lax changed the items by now... There. Okay. We're doing official rules 1. And I'm gonna grab the team that I grabbed last time. we see in here? Seeing a real gaggle of guys. What can I do? I think I can lead Fluttermane and who else? Guess I could lead Fluttermane Torkoal. No, actually I should leave Fluttermane and Incineroar. And then have Almo and Torkoal in the back, I think. Okay, so we're gonna see our Caldon and Fluttermane enter the ring. Green thing is going to activate its photosynthesis. Okay, so our Caldon is the stapler. What's my best play here? I could go Shadow Ball and I guess Willow into the stapler, or I could just swap in Torkoal. Swapping in Torkoal honestly doesn't seem too bad here. I think I'm gonna do that. Torkoal's gonna activate photosynthesis. Green thing wins the speed tie. A Shadow Ball comes out into me. My Fluttermane Shadow Ball comes out into them, lowering their special defense. Okay, they do body press the Torkoal, but they're gonna take a bit of chip there. So this is like the speed tie that matters, or I can just protect and Heat Wave and hope that this does great things. Fluttermane's gonna get the protect off as we see Shadow Ball come out from Green Thing to the protect. Caldon goes for the Snarl, which is going to connect with Torkoal, lowering its special attack by 1 stage. Purple's Heat Wave comes out and is able to connect with both opponents. It does proc our Caldon's stamina 1 stage. I wonder if I should have Terra, yeah, I kind of wish that I had Terra. Oh, that's not Meowscarada, that's Incineroar. I kind of wish that I had. What do I have in the back? Okay, what I have in the back theoretically can deal with my problems in life. So I'm gonna go for the Dazzling Gleam. Helping Hand for as much damage as I can get here, at least legally. Helping Hand comes out from Torkoal into Fluttermane. As Meowscarada goes for Fake Out, but unfortunately it does not affect Fluttermane. Dazzling Gleam going to do some good chip into both Mons. Calydon's defense is slowly increasing. Snarl comes out into Fluttermane and is going to pick up KO into Fluttermane. As now I can swap in Kamao. And I'm actually not sure. Kamao has some speed. I wouldn't expect it to be faster than our Calydon, though. I don't think. I'm gonna go for the Aura Sphere here and swap into Incineroar. It doesn't affect. Nope, Fake Out is a normal type move, and Fluttermane is a ghost type. Aura Sphere is gonna come out. Our Calydon does not live it, okay. I was a little concerned with the Assault Vest there that it might live. The Escarada goes for the U-turn into Kamao, but because it's been intimidated, it really doesn't do too much damage. We're going to see Grim, the Paldean champion, hit the field. Kamao is going to restore some HP with its lefties. And Incineroar is going to come in and intimidate. And I think this is... Oh wait, no, the Meowscarada is Play Rough. I almost forgot about that. It might be Covert Cloak. I think if it's Covert Cloak, I lose the game. So I should not be reckless here. But then Incineroar could Flare Blitz. I think because of that, my safest move is to swap in Torkoal and then Will-O-Wisp into the Meowscarada. There Incineroar for Fake Out, okay. As it does go for Play Rough and transforms into a Fairy type, however Torkoal resists it and is naturally very physically tanky. Meowscarada takes some damage there as my Incineroar flinches. The Harsh Sunlight fades, but that's fine. And let's go for the Heat Wave and Willow into Meowscarada. Actually, I could have just Earth Powered into Incineroar, now that I think about it. Maybe try to deal more chip into that slot. We are going to see a terrestrialization on the opposite side of the field. And it's going to be Meowscarada changing into the Grass type. Goes for Play Rough into Incineroar and does some pretty notable damage. Knockoff comes out into Torkoal and does some pretty considerable damage. Which knocks off the Rocky Helmet. Will-O-Wisp comes out into Meowscarada. I'm just going to leave it with a burn. Torkoal goes for the Heat Wave. Which I'm going to protect Torkoal this turn, and then just go for knockoff into Meowscarada, I think. Play Rough is going to come out, but unfortunately... Oh, I thought I missed into Incineroar. No, it was protected by Torkoal. As Meowscarada goes for knockoff, and Torkoal also protects itself. Incineroar gets the knockoff into Meowscarada, and Meowscarada, what item was it holding? I'm rather curious. It was the amulet coin. That might be an incorrect item. We can just... Actually, I can swap in Kamo here. Knockoff comes down to Torkoal, and that's going to pick up Torkoal KO. Kamo is going to restore that last little bit of health that was missing from Incineroar previously going for U-turn. Incineroar is going to cycle back in, and it's going to do that thing that it does every time it cycles in, which is get off and intimidate into the imposing Incineroar. And now we can fake out and Aura Sphere, and that should be the end of the game. Was using it to get more money in battles, forgot to change it before the battle. I mean, fair enough. It would be nice if Amulet Coin actually did something, because I think Amulet Coin should boost the power of moves that make money, which would only be Payday and Make It Rain, but it would still be nice if it had a use. Because then, like, you could use Amulet Coin to, like, specifically boost the power of Make It Rain on Golden Go, which means that it would be kind of a competitively viable item. Alright, so since this is Alexander's return to first attempt, and they have lost the first battle, that means they cannot get a Pokemon in this attempt. However, as always, they are more than welcome to do the other two battles if they would like. Alright, let's think here. I'm gonna leave Grimmsnarl and Arcaludon, and then I think have Scizor and Blastoise in the back? Blastoise in the back feels weird, but I think it's the correct answer. Feels really weird to not bring Pelipper here, but I think it's my best bet. We're going to see Hatterene and Indeedee hit the field. Indeedee, or rather, Indeedee's Psychic Surge activates. She's going to proc its Psychic Seed. Alright, so let's go for the Light Screen and Snarl this turn. Because even if Trick Room goes up, we'll be super tanky in case some attacks start coming out. And even if they do decide to attack this turn, we're in a pretty good spot to just take the attack, really. And Indeedee goes for the Follow Me this turn. As Grimmsnarl is going to get off the Light Screen. And Grimmsnarl goes for the Snarl, which connects into both Pokemon. Gets a critical hit on Indeedee, which might be kind of notable here in a bit. But the special attack is going to fall for both Pokemon, and we're going to see Trick Room go up. So I don't think it's worth it for me to set up Reflect right now, so I'm just going to go for the Spirit Break, and let's go for the Snarl again. Going to see Dazzling Gleam come out, and that does a bit of chip into both Mons. Caledon's going to have its ability activate. Spirit Break comes out into Hatterene and does about a third of its health, I would say, as its special attack falls again. And DD goes for Dazzling Gleam, which does a little bit more chip. Where Caledon gets off another Snarl, and now we're sitting pretty good. Burning through that one turn of Trick Room. I think I can afford to go for Spirit Break this turn, and then Flash Cannon into the Hatterene. We're going to see Ndidi go for the Helping Hand this time. And Hatterene's going to go off Dazzling Gleam, and it doesn't crit either of my Pokemon, which is great. That means they don't take any KOs. Grimmsnarl is going to go for the Spirit Break into Ndidi and get it pretty low. Lowering its special attack again, as Flash Cannon comes out from our Caledon into Hatterene, and is going to pick up KO into it. And we are going to see the opposing Mans hit the field, Stapler. So I'm going to set up the Reflect in case they Body Press, and I'm going to go for one Snarl into them to try and get the Ndidi KO, but also to lower the special attack of the Arcaladon. Ndidi goes for the Helping Hand into Arcaladon. Grimmsnarl is going to be able to get up a Reflect, making it stronger against physical moves. The Arcaladon wins the speed tie. Technically against itself, actually, now that I think about it. Those are exactly the same Pokemon, it's just that one of them is named the Stapler. But Snarl is going to pick up the KO onto Ndidi, and is going to lower the special attack of the Arcaladon, and it's going to have its ability activated, raising its defense one stage as we see Green Thing hit the field. And it is going to have its Speed Booster procced. Okay. So let's Speed Break into Flutterman and Body Press into the Stapler. Grimmsnarl's Spirit Break comes out, and Flutterman is not very physically bulky, so it does a pretty good amount of damage. Also, Spatak dropping Flutterman. Flash Cannon comes out into Grimmsnarl, but because of the special attack drop, Grimmsnarl is able to survive it. As my Caledon goes for Body Press, and it's had a much longer time building up defensive boost because of the time spent with Hatterene and Ndidi. As the Flutterman's Moonblast is going to connect with Grimmsnarl and pick up KO into that slot. And now Twisted Dimensions have returned to normal, and the weirdness on the battlefield has disappeared. Okay, so the worst thing that can happen here is they protect with Fluttermane, and their opposing Arcaladon gets a crit Body Press onto my Arcaladon, because that will probably cause it to be KO'd. I could have gone for Terra Flying here to make sure that that doesn't happen. Their Fluttermane does not protect. Rather, it catches the Bullet Punch. Body Press comes out, and it is not a crit, so it does not do very much. As my defense increases and my Body Press is made stronger, guaranteeing the KO onto the opposing Arcaladon. That is going to be a GG's. Alright, we got one battle left, and I believe it is against the Sand Team. One battle at least for this attempt. We still have the battle with B-Dog for their redo, if they're still around. Okay, so this could be... There's a lot of things that don't like me, or personally, I don't like the idea of getting Trick Room up here, and it's really hard for me to bust through our Caledon with this team. I'm not gonna overthink this because it's the third battle, but I don't think I want any of my Trick Room Pokemon here, and I'm gonna bring the first 4. Yep, alright, just checking, just checking. Alright, we're gonna see Hatterene and Incineroar in response to Arcanine and Tyranitar. So we get off Intimidates, except my Tyranitar is Clear Amulet, so it doesn't care too much about Intimidate, and we get up our Sand, which is very useful, so I don't see anything wrong with going for Rock Slide, and maybe just double Rock Slide. Because if Tyranitar gets faked out, that means that I can go for Stomping Tantrum next turn. So we're just going to double Rock Slide and see what happens. Arcanine gets off its Rock Slide. We're not going to see any fakeouts this turn. Yes, he's going to U-turn, and that does more damage than I was willing to take, if I'm being honest. That's because it was a crit. Okay. As we are now going to see who hit the field. Okay, we're going to be seeing Meowscarada here. Tyranitar gets off its Rock Slide. And, okay, Hatterene is going to be able to get up Trick Room despite 30% chances of flinching. And both the Pokemon on the opposing side are buffeted by Sand. So, a pretty okay move for them here would be to swap in Indeedee and then go for... actually... No, Dazzling Gleam. They're probably going to Dazzling Gleam here. Dazzling Gleam and something into Arcanine. So I'm going to go for the Rock Slide, and I'm going to swap in Rillaboom, I think. And we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, this is Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't do much into Arcanine, and it doesn't do too much into Rillaboom. Flower Trick comes out, and that is going into the Arcanine slot, which picks up KO into Arcanine. Okay. That is a tad bit unfortunate. Now I don't know what to do. Because if I go into Tyranitar, I'm going to get Dazzling Gleamed, and the U-turn brought me so low that I don't think I can live the Dazzling Gleam. But they can very much just swap in Indeedee and click Expanding Force if I bring in Primarina. I think I'm going to bring in Tyranitar. Tyranitar theoretically keeps them from bringing in Indeedee, and I can get Rock Slide, and I can Grassy Glide Hat. Alright, it's taking a bit long. Okay, Grassy Glide comes on to Hatterene, and that's going to pick up KO into it. As the single target Rock Slide connects into Meowscarada, and that KOs Meowscarada. Rillaboom's going to take some chip, but it's going to be healed back up by the grassy terrain, and Tyranitar does not take chip because it is a rock type who set up the sand stream. That would be kind of weird if it took chip while standing up the thing that makes it take the chip. Funny enough, Shedinja can actually learn Sandstorm, which, if it's not holding safety goggles, will just KO it at the end of the turn. So I think I need to call where the Fake Out is going this turn. How many turns of Trick Room do we have left? 2 turns left. So I'm going to protect with Tyranitar this turn and go for... I think it's best to use my Terra here for Terra Fire, Wood Hammer into Fluttermane. Tyranitar is going to go for Protect this turn, not wanting to take damage. As we see Incineroar's Fake Out go into Rillaboom. Okay. Rillaboom flinches and cannot move as Mythical Fire tries to knock out Rillaboom. Unfortunately, I didn't make the correct call in going for Terra Fire. And now everything on the field takes Sand Chip. Except for Tyranitar. And then gets healed up by the grassy terrain. And Tyranitar now back into the green at least. Good for Tyranitar. We're going to go for the Rock Slide, and Fluttermane could very well... Oh! That's going to be a disconnect. Oh, well, I had Primarina in the back end. Primarina would have finished off the Incineroar here. What could have happened is the Fluttermane could have gone for Protect, and then Incineroar could have gone for Knockoff into Rillaboom, and depending on how much damage that does, that knocks out Rillaboom, and then Trick Room ends. But, like, Primarina probably just picks up the endgame between Fluttermane and Incineroar with Tyranitar's help. But GG, Lax, GG's. Alright, B-Dog, are you ready to go? What could I do better? So, I think what you were doing there is you were trying to use the Hatterene to set Trick Room a little bit, like, you weren't really bringing Mons to help you in Trick Room, is the thing. And even when you did bring Trick Room, I had, like, Archaludon and Grimmsnarl in order to mitigate the damage from Trick Room as much as possible. So if you're going to bring Trick Room, you need to have, like how on my Trick Room team, I have, like, Tyranitar and Rillaboom and Primarina, who are all like pretty slow, but not super slow. So I have mons that work specifically in Trick Room and mons that work outside of Trick Room, depending on when I need to set it up. And I think your team mostly consists of Pokemon that work outside of Trick Room. And if the, like, you have Indeedee and Hatterene, and that's pretty much the only two Pokemon that can work in Trick Room. So whenever Pokemon like Fluttermane and Cinnamoroar hit the field, they're going to be outsped in your own Trick Room. So if you want to go with the Trick Room angle, I'd advise looking at Pokemon that work better both inside and outside of Trick Room. Like, Torkoal is really good because it can set Sun for Pokemon if you want to have, like, a really fast Sun mode with, like, Chlorophyll users, like Hisuian Lilligant is what a lot of people use for Trick Room, because then you can just put things to sleep when they're expecting to be, like, mid-speed. I have no clue what to do without a Mungus. Well, you could pick up a Hisuian Lilligant. It does a lot of the same things, it's just that Hisuian Lilligant doesn't redirect any attacks, and takes advantage of its Chlorophyll ability to act really fast. But then Hisuian Lilligant gets Sleep Powder, which isn't a guaranteed accuracy spore, but it's still, you can be really fast and put things to sleep really fast. And you have a lot of offensive pressure with both, like, Solar Blade and Close Combat. And also After You is another thing. After You is a move that if you put it on a really fast Pokemon, can help your Trick Room Pokemon work outside of Trick Room. I'm gonna hide screen for a sec. And this is B-Dog's second attempt, so they only have to win 2 of these battles in order to get a Pokemon. I have locked in which team I am using for the first battle. I don't have Legends? Okay, gotcha. I can trade you a Lilligant. Maybe in the future. Maybe tomorrow, if you come back tomorrow. I'll have... What is it? We'll be doing the Primarina raids. So I'll start stream probably around like 7:30, and Oop, we lost him. Primarina raids start at 8 o'clock EST, and I'll probably start around 7:30. So if you want me to trade you a Lilligant, I can do that. Alright, battle rules have been set. Let me hide screen for a sec while I grab the team that I picked out last time. And I think we're good to go. Okay. We've got 2 steel types, 2 fighting types, actually 3 steel types. 2 fighting types, 2 ghost types. A lot of types. Or maybe not a lot of types, actually. There's like maybe 6 unique types on this team. But besides the point, let's lead Grimmsnarl and I think Archaludon here. Actually, I'm kind of afraid for Archaludon. Let's lead Pelipper. Grimmsnarl. And then have Archaludon and Blastoise in the back. And let's run it. I might be on school when you're streaming. Okay, gotcha. Then I'll just have a Hisuian Lilligant. And whenever you're in stream, if you remember, we can trade for the Hisuian Lilligant. I think I most fear... What do I fear? Oh, I could just Spirit Break the combo. I'm gonna click Thunder Wave into the combo and then Weather Ball into the Hisuian Typhlosion. Okay, we're gonna see a terrestrialization of Kamo, and Kamo is changing into a pure Steel type. Okay. Grimmsnarl's Thunder Wave is going to come out into it. As Hisuian Typhlosion Shadow Ball is going to come out into Pelipper. Deal a little bit less than half into Pelipper as a Weather Ball comes out into Hisuian Typhlosion, picking up the super effective KO into it. Actually, it's not super effective KO. I thought I didn't hear the sound of Zoroark. It's Zoroark in disguise. Combo goes for close combat into Grimmsnarl, dealing quite a bit of its health, but lowering its defense and special defense stats. Okay, so I know it's Hisuian Typhlosion in the back, so I'm going to set up the Reflect this turn, and I think I'm going to preserve Pelipper. Yeah, for our Caledon. I'll remember next time. Alright, bet. Ice Spinner comes out into our Caledon, but that's a neutral hit with Reflect Up. Our Caledon gets up its defense boost. Close combat comes out into Grimmsnarl again, and this time it is going to pick up the KO. And now I'm going to get Blastoise on the field. And we're going to go for Iron Defense with Blastoise and Body Press into Kamo. Body Press comes out, and that picks up super effective KO into Kamo. Blastoise is able to get up its Iron Defense. As Gudra goes for the Ice Spinner into Blastoise and resist the hit, Blastoise's Rain Dish is going to restore its HP, but its leftovers would have already done that, even if Rain wasn't currently up. And we don't have Pelipper on the field right now, but we do have a Blastoise, so I'm going to Muddy Water and Body Press into Hisuigui. Typhlosion Flamethrower comes out into our Caledon. It doesn't do very much damage in the rain, but it does proc defense boost. Body Press comes out into Gudra and picks up KO into it. As the single target, Muddy Water comes out from Blastoise. And that is going to pick up KO into Typhlosion. But GG's, GG's. Alright, so now B-Dog has to win both of the next battles in order to take a Pokemon off of me. And I'm not gonna bother hiding screen, I'm just gonna pick this team. Okay. I think I lead this, and then I keep this, and this in the back. to see Heatran Kamo to start here. And last time, this was Combo Boom Burst. It's gonna be a little difficult to get rid of Heatran. I think I'm gonna follow me and get up my room. And we'll see what happens. Looks like we're gonna have a Terrestrialization on the opposite side of the field. It's going to be Kamo grabbing its Terra Steel again. Heatran goes for the Helping Hand. He's going to go for the Follow Me. And Kamo is going to go for the Close Combat. And then it's going to nearly pick up KO into Indeedee. Very close. As Hatterene is going to get up Trick Room. Okay. So I can mostly... I'm going to redirect and use my Terrifier on Hatterene for Mystical Fire. Actually, I should have Helping Hand. I don't really care if Indeedee... I didn't need the redirection this turn, because it's probably just my first Steel move with Heatran, if anything. Indeedee is going to go for the Follow Me. If anything, this was probably like Heatran's spread move. Hatterene's going to go for the Mystical Fire. That's going to pick up KO into Kamo. Hatterene's going to lose some HP as Heatran goes for Shadow Ball. Oh, I get it. That's not Heatran. I did think it was a little strange that Heatran went for Helping Hand, but I didn't say anything at the time. It's just like, I've never used a Heatran, so I'm not exactly sure how wide its move pool is. But it does make much more sense that that in fact is not Heatran. That is Heatran. So it is good that I went for redirection here. I'm going to go for the Helping Hand and just click the Expanding Force. Expanding Force comes out, and it KOs one of the Heatrans, who is not actually a Heatran. It is Zoroark, the Master of Disguise. This Heatran might be going for Earth Power here, yeah. And it's going to do a lot of damage to the Hatterene since we are now weak to it. We're now going to see Hisui Gooey hit the field. And I'm pretty okay with clicking Helping Hand and Expanding Force again. Because unless Goodra is Iron Ball, it's not slower than Hatterene. And even then, I don't know if it can get slow enough to outspeed me in Trick Room. Expanding Force comes out, is going to pick up the KO into Heatran and do about half into Goodra. And he's going to lose a bit more of its HP as Goodra goes for the Muddy Water, and that is going to defeat Hatterene, but Indeedee is going to live. Let's bring in Primarina. And the Goodra might be faster than Primarina. However, I'm gonna go for the Helping Hand Moonblast anyways. Goodra goes for Heavy Slam and a Primarina. That does a bit more damage than I thought it would, if I'm being honest. But Moonblast is gonna pick up KO into Goodra. And it's going to wrap up the game. GG's, GG's. Now, B-Dog, you cannot get a Pokemon in this attempt because of the first 2 battles. However, you are more than welcome to play out the 3rd battle if you would like to do so. I believe it is against the Sun team. Yeah, it's against the Sun team. Yeah, it's against... yeah. Okay. With all due respect, I think I'm gonna leave this and this for the last game, since it doesn't really matter. And have this and this in the back. And we'll see how it goes. There's one lead here that does give me some problems. But we'll get there when we get there. Okay, a Typhlosion lead is the problem lead, because we could just go for Eruption or Heat Wave. So in order to cover for that happening, what I am going to do is I am going to Follow Me and Terra Rock and get off my Expanding Force. It's possible that this might also be one of them, could be Zoroark. I definitely wouldn't underestimate the chance of one of them being Zoroark. However, Rock allows me to live any spread moves that the group should have here. Okay, Future goes for Foul Play into Indeedee, and it does that much. And Typhlosion goes for Flamethrower into Indeedee, and it does that much. But Exeggutor goes for Expanding Force, and it does that much. Typhlosion actually lived. Oh yeah, that was Zoroark in disguise. As we're going to see Kammo hit the field. And there's really nothing that Exeggutor can do to this if it decides to go Terra Steel. However, I'm going to get off my Expanding Force anyways, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, they're deciding to go Terra Steel. Even with the Terra Steel, this should still do some pretty good damage. The problem is I don't know what the Kammo's ability is, because if it's Overcoat, then I can't Sleep Powder it with Exeggutor, so I can't warrant going for Sleep Powder. But if it's Bulletproof, then I can't go for Shadow Ball with Fluttermane, who I have in the back. So I need this Expanding Force to, like, do some damage here. Okay, that's, like, pretty good. We're also faster than the Kammo with Exeggutor. Kammo goes for close combat, so that means that I can just Expanding Force it next turn, and that will pick up KO. So what I could have done if I really needed to was, I forget what they have, but I think it's most beneficial for me to bring in Fluttermane here. Okay, they bring in Hisuigui, right, because of the Zoroark. Let's start speed tying with Kammo, which I don't think we are. I can just go for the Dazzling Gleam and the... Oh, actually, Goodra might be faster. Goodra's pretty fast before, I think. I think I'm gonna go for the Icy Wind play just to be safe, and the Expanding Force. Okay, Icy Wind connects with both, which is going to drop both of their speed stats. Means that Exeggutor is now faster than both. And is able to get off Expanding Force, which is going to KO combo and do some damage into Gudra. Now we're going to see Heavy Slam come out from Gudra, and that's going to bring Fluttermane all the way down to its sash. And now we can single target Dazzling Gleam, and we can single target Expanding Force, and that probably picks up KO unless of like a berry or something. Yeah, there we go. Alright, GG's, B-Dog. If you wanted some help finding some rental team Speeddog in order to try out some new Pokemon, I do have a community post on my channel where if you ask me what kind of team you would like for a rental team, I can help you get some rental teams if you want to try using some different Pokemon. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Really means a lot. Tomorrow we'll be back with Primarina raids for Scarlet and Violet, the first round of Primarina raids. We'll see what's up with them. It's probably gonna be like Hyper Voice Primarina, Moonblast, Psychic, and then like Energy Ball. But if it's Calm Mind instead of Energy Ball, then things are gonna get a little rough. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.